Hey guys, it's Tuesday and we are on chapter 8 of Junie B Jones. I hope you've been reading along with me. Hope you're enjoying my videos. Anyway, this chapter 8 is called Swooping. The children ran. They ran everywhere, I tell you. They ran to and fro and up and down and back and forth and here and there. Also, Roger ran sideways and Lenny ran in a circle. I watched them very fascinated. Some of the children were tackling and scuffling. Sheldon went through a shrub. That's when Lucille's daddy blew his whistle again. Tweet, tweet, tweet! Everyone come back here right now, he shouted, really mad. Everyone came back. Sheldon had a stick in his ear. He sputtered and stuttered and pointed at May. She pushed me, May pushed me through a bush. May stamped her foot. No, I did not, Sheldon. I did not push you. You pushed yourself, she said. She turned and looked at the daddy. It was the darndest thing you ever saw, she said. He shoved himself right through that shrub. The daddy stood there for a real long time. Then he walked to a picnic bench and he sat down real slow. And he hit himself in the head. I went over and tapped on him. I would just like to point out that the bunny did not run, I said. The bunny was the only one who walked. May overheard me. That's because the bunny can't run or the bunny falls down, she called. The bunny should not get credit for that. The daddy hit himself in the head again. I walked back to Herbert. He looked kind of worried. The daddy's coming unglued, he said. I nodded. Yes, I said, the daddy is going to need backup, I believe. Backup is the grown-up word for the police might need to come, possibly. And guess what? Me and Herb were not the only ones thinking that either. Because just then, Lucille's Nana hollered out real loud. Enough, she hollered. I have had enough of this nonsense with you children. Then she cupped her hands around her mouth and she shouted out a brand new rule. It was called, if there's any more running or fighting, she's going to call the cops. All the children did a loud gulp. I looked at Herbert. That new rule seemed a little harsh, I said. Only guess what else? The new rule worked, I think, because pretty soon the Nana started the egg hunt again, and this time no one ran at all. No one even walked hardly. Instead, we all behaved like little ladies and gentlemen, and we hunted for eggs very politely. May stuck to Sheldon like glue. I tried to stick to him too, but my giant feet could not keep up that good. May kept on grouching. You're not going to get the golden egg before I do, Sheldon, even if you know where it is. I'll still beat you to it, she said. I'm all over you like flies on egg salad. Sheldon rolled his eyes. But I don't know where the golden egg is, May, he said. I've already told you that. I don't know anything at all. I cupped my mitts around my mouth. I believe you, Sheldon. I believe you don't know anything at all, I shouted. I never thought you knew anything at all. After that, I hurried to catch up to him because I definitely thought he knew something, of course. Sheldon turned to wait for me. Then all of a sudden, he glanced down at the ground and he did a loud gasp. I see one, I see one, I see one, he shouted. May and I turned to look. There was a bright green egg under the bushes. Sheldon clapped and laughed, and he hurried to pick it up, but whoop, whoosh, swoop, scoop. May ducked underneath him, speedy, fast, and she picked it up instead. There she is, getting the egg. I got it, I got it, I got it, she screeched. Then she put the egg in her basket and danced all around. Sheldon's face got sputtery mad. But before he could even yell at her, he did another gasp. I see one, I see one, I see one, he shouted even louder than before. Then he clapped his hands and he laughed real happily and he hurried over to pick it up. But whoosh, swoop, scoop, May beat it to him again. Two, now I have two, she hollered. She jumped up in the air and kicked out her feet. I swooped, I am a swooper, I swoop, she said. She ran back to Sheldon and laid in his face. I knew I would beat you at this game. Now I have 2 eggs and you and Junie B have... She leaned her head to our baskets. Let's count. 0. Ha, you have 0 and I have 2. 2 to 0. 2 to zippity zip 0. Sheldon looked really upset. I frowned my eyes at him. Helpful hint, stop shouting, I see one. Sheldon pointed to his magic egg shirt. I don't get it, Junie B, he said. My grandpa said that the egg is with me, so why is this magic shirt not working? I looked closer at the egg dribble. Maybe it's not lucky, maybe it's just dirt. Sheldon slumped his shoulders. Then he reached down his finger and he flicked off the egg. Only wait till you hear this. Just as he flicked, his eyes got big and wide again. This time I hurried to cover his mouth with my hand. But Sheldon shouted right through my paw. I see one, I see one, I see one, he shouted. Then before he could even move his feet, whoosh, swoop, scoop, May grabbed egg number 3. She twirled in a happy circle around us. 3-0, 3-0, it's still 3-0, she yelled. Sheldon stood real still. Then very slowly he put down his basket, he stretched out the sides of his mouth with his fingers, and he stuck his tongue out at May. That was appropriate behavior, I believe. After that, he snatched his basket up again, and he tried to rush away from May. But too bad for Sheldon, because May stayed right exactly on his heels. They were walking too fast for me to catch up. I stopped and watched them go, and I did a big sigh, and I walked to a tree stump, and I sat down glumly. I hate being this dumb bunny, I said, because my feet are too big, my legs are too slow, my paw mitts are way too clumsy. I slumped my shoulders and looked in the basket, and I did another sigh, because let's face it, the bunny was a rotten egg. And that's the end of today's chapter. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.